Is weird, odd, strange, or just plain bizarre is really your cup of tea? Then the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast will give you that fix. Can't believe it? Well, listen for yourself as we deliver the strangest news you definitely won't find on CNN or Fox. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Weird News Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Weird News Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Heidi, and I'm joined by the wonderful Sarah.
Hello.
Today, I am starting off with an interesting story. One that is weird, but also scary, I guess. Like something that I would really never think that would happen. And it's just like, because it involves a grenade.
It's definitely
from
not something
World War I
that you think is going to happen when you wake up in the morning.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I did not predict the story. And I guess particularly why I say World War I because that's what it is. But, like, that's particularly old. Like, if I think about old, like, I don't know, war-related weaponry, or because people still find grenades and other things like that on land and other bombs that haven't been detonated in mines and things like that. I don't think about as far back as World War I.
I know it happens, but this story seems even stranger than that, though.
Yeah, I mean,
because
weird news.
Like, it was just, I mean, I guess it was in a field, but that's not where this story takes place.
I don't know.
The story does not take place in a field.
No, it does not. And if you're wondering where it takes place in Hong Kong in a potato chip factory. Yeah. Not at all where I would think to find a World War I grenade.
No.
Not at all.
No.
So, the Hong Kong police discovered a German-made grenade from World War I after this device was found in a shipment of imported potatoes at a local potato chip factory. I feel like it's very important. The keyword there is imported.
Yeah. Because when I first started thinking about this, I was like, wait, Hong Kong must have found it. Actually, no, wait, what?
Yep. That's what I thought, too.
Don't remember my World War I history take any place in Hong Kong.
Nope. The grenade, which was described by authorities as having been caked in mud and dirt, was discovered by workers at the factory, and the factory is it's in Hong Kong, but it is run by the Japanese snack maker Calbee, and police said they used a high-pressure water firing technique to safely detonate the weapon.
But there are so many places this could have detonated. I mean, obviously, somebody's digging potatoes. Yep. They dig up what they think is a potato. They chuck it in a basket. That basket gets dumped into a bigger basket, which gets loaded into a truck, which gets loaded onto whatever, a plane, a ship, something.
And then gets dumped into a factory.
Wow.
And so much potential for really bad things.
And they detonate. I mean, they safely detonated it, but they still detonated it.
Yeah.
So
wow. Really amazing. The superintendent of the company, Wilfred Wong Ho Han, said the grenade was imported from France together with the other potatoes, which makes more sense in terms of your World War I history.
Yes.
A military historian told news outlets that the grenade had likely been dug up by accident by potato harvesters in France.
Sure.
And if it was covered in mud, the grenade was likely to have been left behind or dropped by a soldier there during the war, or maybe left there after it was thrown, like if it didn't detonate when it was thrown. So, I mean, I guess I also don't think about, because I feel like in the U.S., when I get a potato chip, I know it comes from a potato in the U.S., so I don't think about, like, a Hong Kong factory run by a Japanese company getting potatoes from France. Yeah.
It's an international potato chip right there.
Yeah. And a grenade from France.
Well, right.
Well, actually, German-made grenade.
Yes, wow. There you go. Let's just throw that in there.
Grenade in France, in potatoes, in Hong Kong, run by Japan. Wow, interesting. So, I mean, we're all lucky that they detonated it safely, and it did not become a potato chip, because that would have been bad.
That would have been
very, very spicy potato chip.
Wow.
This next story is also related to the world, because it takes place in England, and it has to do with a message in a bottle. Not Sting, but a woman
Now I'm going to sing that for the rest of the evening.
That's all I thought about when I saw this story. A woman was reunited with a message in a bottle, and she had tossed this message into the sea years ago, and she has been reunited. This was a British woman, and she really experienced a blast from the past when the bottle came back to her, and it was more than 17 years ago when she had originally thrown it into the ocean. This woman, Emily Edwards, who's now 25, says that when she was a 7-year-old vacationing in Wales, she wrote a note to her future self and tossed it into the ocean. She, of course, forgot about the bottle until a runner named Sam Hamid found it, and it was almost like 60 miles away from where she originally dropped it into the ocean. So, I mean, clearly he found it on the beach. The ink was faded over the years, and all that Sam could recognize was Emily's name and a postal code for Telford, which is where she lived at the time that she wrote the note.
I'm amazed that it wasn't just completely destroyed. I mean, that was a decently sealed bottle.
I agree. It's also interesting that she wrote it to her future self and put a zip code on it.
She's 7, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she'll learn that that's not a mailbox. You know, that comes later. So after this man, Sam, had found the note, I guess his mom, or this is a British article, so his mum,
yes,
Sue Cookson, told the BBC News, again, because this is England, that her son had found the bottle on the beach, and then the family thought it would be fun to try and reunite it with the sender. Okay. And that happened after a photo of the faded note was posted on social media.
Oh, social media.
Yep, that's how they found her. Obviously, Emily Edwards was really stunned when she realized that, I guess, her past was coming to haunt her. Or more like the letter to her future self was finally going to her future self.
Right.
She called her dad when she found out the letter and said that it was just crazy and he couldn't believe it happened. He did confirm to her that she had sent a message when she was 7, you know, just to make sure she wasn't missing things.
I'm sad that the ink is faded and that you really can only read her name, because I would want to know what my 7-year-old self wrote to my future self.
Exactly.
I'm not going to remember what I wrote as a 7-year-old.
Right. I've done that before where you like write a note to yourself and it's been like a year later. But even then I'm like, oh, wow, I wrote this.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. And usually it's embarrassing,
right.
But and really never accurate. But I don't know. That's really, I agree. That'd been a lot cooler if she could have read it.
Yeah.
It's still cool. But I don't know. I mean, I guess if she wants to be able to read it, she should have put it in a mailbox, but
now,
or with a relative
or something. Now, if this was a rom-com, she and Sam would get married now.
After having like a sort of comedic journey of finding each other. There'd be some sort of like argument where there's a falling out and then they
come back together. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe she'd be able to interpret the note and it would say something, you know, about like finding your true love.
Right. There'd be like he's a runner. So there'd have to be some sort of play on words in there that would come into.
She stops him on a marathon to tell her that she loves him.
Exactly. We should write
his
this.
His mom is there.
Yes.
Her parents are just thrilled. Also, Emily Edwards hopes that she can repeat this message in a bottle routine with her own infant daughter. And she said, "It's a brilliant story to tell my little girl when she's older, and we can try doing the same when she understands a bit more, and hopefully maybe hers will come back one day." So that is, you know, it's a nice idea that her daughter can, I don't know, I just keep thinking about litter.
Well,
I can't
throwing things in the ocean. I mean, I'm thinking if you definitely want to have it later, you should do more like a time capsule kind of an idea.
Yeah. A better marked. And that way you can guarantee you'll be able to read it. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe she could laminate the note, but...
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be better. Also, that's really cool that the family of Sam, who like found it on his run, wanted to give it back to her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's a good social media related note. It's not... I don't know, some sort of like really bad comment section, hate
trolls.
But, yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure I would be the troll now because I'm like, oh, the litter. God.
Can't believe you threw that in the ocean.
Oh, so irresponsible. But yeah, that's it's better than that.
It's a cute story.
Yeah. And that's a good idea that her daughter will be able to maybe do that one day and get a note to her future self. But yeah, I also like the time capsule idea better.
Yep.
Or just like putting it in an envelope and then I don't know, giving it to a relative or something. I'm not sure. Some other way that's more guguaranteed you'll
safe
be able to get it
box,
back.
Something.
Oh, yeah. That's a much better idea. Talk about secure and safe. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back and keep talking about some more weird news stories.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the Weird News Podcast. We are continuing to share some strange and interesting news stories. We are really going into the interesting section of our news stories, kind of people behaving badly.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately. It had to happen sometime.
Of course. It can't all be messages in a bottle.
I know. It can't all be nice stories for our future selves. Our next story is about a man who was caught on camera faking a fall at work.
Oh, no. Cameras are everywhere, people.
It's true. You can really never get away with anything. Also, I feel like in most of these weird news episodes, I'm just talking about, someone from Florida. Well, now it's a New Jersey man, not just Florida man. So we're opening it up a little bit.
At least the last New Jersey story was the cute toddler in the last episode.
Yeah. Was that New Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so it's not all
cute.
bad.
That's true. This is worse, though.
This is not
nearly as cute. So this is about a New Jersey man who is facing charges after he was caught on camera throwing ice on the ground and faking a slip and fall in an alleged fraud scheme.
Oh, jeez.
It's not good. So the county prosecutor's office said that Alexander Goldinsky, who's 57, way too old to be doing this, was working as an independent contractor at a business in Woodbridge when a security camera recorded the incident. Of course. You're never just always someone watching you. It's Big Brother everywhere.
Big Brother is watching, yes.
The footage shows Goldinsky throw ice on the ground and then carefully arrange himself on the floor and wait to be discovered.
Oh, nice.
The prosecutor's office said that Goldinsky filed a fake insurance claim for an ambulance ride and treatment at a local hospital. Fraudulent claims, this is according to the prosecutor, cost everyone, and this will be aggressively prosecuted for those who illegally manipulate the system.
So he was looking for some easy money, he thought, and instead he's going to have to pay fines like crazy.
Oh, yes. He is facing charges of insurance fraud and theft by deception.
Theft by deception?
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Really looking into these stories, I've seen, I think it was like Criminal Mayhem, which
I've heard of that.
did not know, like, mayhem.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a commercial.
Well, yeah,
Didn't know it could be, could take you to court. But,
yep.
What is that? Theft by deception. That's good.
Yeah, I like that one. Sounds like a band name.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, like a good song name. We are going on to our next story. This is a little bit more hopeful, I feel. This is a break between our next story of people behaving badly. But this is about a boy who survived an avalanche after being buried for 40 minutes, which is insane. It's being called a miracle by many. So a 12-year-old boy survived being buried under the avalanche. He was in the French Alps, and as I said, rescuers are really calling it a miracle. The boy was skiing on a backcountry section of the slopes. Sarah, I'm going to need help. The La
Plana, maybe?
La Plana?
Yeah.
Ski resort in the Macotte La Plana?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about my French lesson, and that G is throwing me off.
Well, you're better than me. I have no French knowledge. He was unfortunately swept away. He was separated from his group, And according to officials, he was going down the slope ahead of 7 other skiers and then was caught in a large section of snow that detached and then roared down the mountain. The just group of snow, ice, and rock carried the boy at least 110 yards. It's unclear how deeply he was buried.
Wow.
The region of the Alps where the avalanche occurred had a massive snowfall earlier in the month, and I guess it had a late start to the ski season, which kept a lot of local resorts closed longer than expected. The boy at the time of being buried in the avalanche was not wearing a jacket equipped with an avalanche detector, which I did not know was a thing. That just shows you how much I ski. And he was eventually found by a rescue dog that had been trained to find human scent buried deep in the snow at an altitude of 7,875 feet. So I guess just different training depending on the altitude of the incident? I guess.
Or... I don't know, maybe, but yeah, I don't know if they have to be trained differently at different altitudes, or if it's just the training to find the scent buried in the snow. I don't know.
It's interesting. But he was found by a rescue dog. Also,
go rescue dog!
I know, that's really cute. There was a note on the article that was like the article editor's note was like, we are not confirmed on the type of dog that saved him from the avalanche.
Well, I'm clearly going, even though it's France and not Switzerland, I'm still going to picture a mountain dog with the keg, with the cask.
They actually specifically said in the note, we're not sure if it's like a whatever type of dog that is.
I don't care. That's what I'm picturing.
You should. I believe that.
Saint Bernard, is that what they are?
Yeah, I think so. I could see that. The odds of surviving for 40 minutes buried under snow are really low. The National Geographic reported that statistics show that 93% of avalanche victims survive if dug out within 15 minutes. Then, however, the survival rate drops really fast.
Yeah.
After 45 minutes, only 20 to 30% of victims are alive. After 2 hours, very few people survive. And during the 15 to 45 minute period, 2/3 of victims die of asphyxiation.
Yep.
During this period, the surrounding air will either be exhausted or the victim's respiration will condense and freeze, slowly rendering the surrounding snow impermeable.
Yeah.
Which sounds awful.
Yes.
The boy did suffer a broken leg, but was transferred to a hospital where he was placed under observation.
Oh, it could have been so much worse.
Oh, so much worse. I'm sure also, I didn't know about this, but this is a warning. Apparently, you really need to get the jackets that have the little, detection thing on it that will show if you're buried under an avalanche, so people will be able to find you.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing, but that sounds really smart. Also, I have heard if you're in an avalanche, swept up, you're supposed to act like you're swimming or something. To try and stay on top of the snow as opposed to just going under. Which all sounds terrible. But.
Well, I feel like I don't know if I will be able to think that clearly.
In this situation. I would just assume that I'm dead. But just immediately. Just trapped in the snow this is what life after looks like.
It's really white.
Yeah, exactly. White and cold. Can't breathe.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying. We're going to go on to our next story, and this is about a would-be bank robber. But this would-be bank robber ripped up a note because they got cold feet about the whole robbery.
Oh.
Yeah. This happened in Massachusetts, and police are still looking for a woman that they say intended to rob a bank, but got nervous and left without taking anything. The police have told the news station that the woman walked into the Fall River Municipal Credit Union and approached a teller. Police say the woman hesitated, told the teller, "Give me a minute," and went to a counter and wrote on a piece of paper. She then ripped up the note, dropped pieces in the trash, and walked out. Obviously, bank employees were curious, and they pieced the note together, and it said, "Give me the money."
Oh.
Police have not arrested anyone in connection to the almost robbery.
Well, can they?
I don't know.
Can you arrest somebody for what they were maybe... she changed her mind. She get some credit for that.
True. I maybe it wasn't changing her mind for a good thing, oh, those poor people, more just, I don't know if I can do this.
Right.
Fear. People are, if anyone recognizes this woman, there is surveillance footage that shows her. If anyone recognizes her, please contact the police. Again, this happened in Massachusetts. I have seen the image, and honestly, she looks like in Mean Girls. There's the scene when all the girls are in the auditorium, and like the one guy calls out and like she doesn't even go here, and it's like the guy in a hoodie and sunglasses, like trying to fit in, like really tight hoodie around his face. She just looks like that.
Oh, funny.
She's just like trying to keep a low profile,
right?
But I don't know. I mean, I'm glad you didn't steal anything, but that's pretty funny.
I
Good for her. For her, maybe her conscience kicked in.
I just want the follow up now. Do they charge her with something?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's fair. I'm not sure. I guess, maybe. We're going to take another break, and then we'll be right back and continue on with our weird news stories.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back to the Weird News Podcast. We are moving on to our next stories. This story is about a little kid who really just got the lesson of a lifetime. A very explosive lesson.
Oh, dear.
So a boy in China, he was really lucky to escape with his life because he was playing with fireworks, which you should just never do anyway. The fact that he just was playing with fireworks and then didn't get like his finger blown off or something.
Yeah, that's usually where these stories go.
Yeah. Actually, my grandfather had his finger blown off by a firework.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. He was also in China at the time. But then he, when he immigrated to the U.S., became a butcher. And so everyone just assumed he had lost it being a butcher.
That doesn't speak well for his butchering techniques.
No, I mean, I feel like that's kind of insulting. But it was actually from a firework. But anyway, this boy did not lose a finger playing with the firework. This was triggered. There was an explosion that rippled through the sidewalk, and it was triggered by the fireworks that he was playing with.
Oh.
So definitely not good. Footage from the scene in Chifeng City in Inner Mongolia showed the boy either dropping one of the fireworks into a manhole or allowing the sparks to fall in. It's not really clear, but it's like, because when in the video, his back is to the camera, so you can't specifically see what he's doing, but you can see that he's over a manhole and he's leaning over it, and like, I don't know, he either dropped the fireworks in or let the sparks fly in, but whatever he did, that action ignited the methane gas, which was trapped inside the manhole and caused the sidewalk to erupt.
Wow.
Which is terrifying. Thankfully, no one was injured in the blast, not even the kid, which is super surprising. And the boy, apparently on the video, you can hear afterwards that he told his mom that he wasn't scared. Or no, he did say that he was scared, obviously, but he wasn't injured. However, 3 cars were damaged.
Wow. And did you say how old was this kid?
It didn't say, but he looked really young. So, I don't know. Gosh. Also, methane is often trapped in sewers. It's more common than people realize. I mean, I did not know. That just sounds insanely dangerous.
I mean, if you think about where methane comes from, it makes sense that it's in sewers.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's true. That and, like, cows.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, I guess that grossly does make sense. A 2014 study in Washington, D.C. found thousands of leaks causing methane to build up in the system, including a dozen manholes where just a small spark could trigger an explosion.
Wow.
So, I mean, the boy made a mistake and should not have done that, but it's also not completely his fault because that's apparently really common. And also, do manholes, like, I feel like sometimes they have the solid covers where it's just solid metal, and other times, like in cities where it's like I don't know the right word. It's not like a grate.
Like a grate?
I guess. But is the grate over a manhole, or is that over like a subway thing or something?
I always picture manholes as solid, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I did too. So I don't know. Maybe there's like a few holes drilled in it. Maybe. I don't know. Apparently, also manhole covers are really they can be really dangerous.
Yeah, they probably have holes in them because don't you have to have a tool like to put it in the hole to lift them up?
Yeah, there's probably small
I'm
holes.
talking with my hands right now. You can't see it, but
I mean, it's helpful for me. I can picture it. Like tongs, kind of, lifting the lid.
Yeah.
Like lid of a pot. Yeah. But manhole covers are really dangerous because of the methane gas that's inside them.
Yeah.
They can actually just blow off. And I think there was a teacher who was hurt. I think it actually was in Washington, D.C. I've heard Washington, D.C. is particularly bad for dangerous manhole covers.
There's a political joke in there.
Yeah. This teacher was in her car, and the manhole cover just randomly, I think she was like slightly at a stoplight, slightly over the manhole cover, and it blew off like through her car.
Wow.
And I think it killed her. Or it like blew off right in front of her car and then landed in her car. But unfortunately, she did not survive that incident,
awful.
Which is really sad and very scary to think that manhole covers are that terribly
all the
dangerous.
random ways that you can get dead or injured in this world.
I know. Yeah, thinking about that, I'm just really glad the boy didn't die. But he should not have done that. And no one else was injured, too. So that's good.
I hope he learned his lesson.
I know. And if you watch the video, the whole sidewalk just like goes up in like a ripple, like a wave.
Which is kind of cool, but not.
Yeah, but also not. So our next story is about a specific fruit, specifically the durian fruit. And this happened in Indonesia.
The seeds of durian fruit, aren't they really poisonous? So you have to like be very, very careful?
I don't know if the seeds are poisonous, but it smells really bad.
Okay, I could be mixing it up with another weird fruit.
I'm not sure. I mean,
shouldn't
apple
say weird.
seeds
It's
have
just
like arsenic.
Yeah.
There's
just one where whenever they have it on a like a cooking competition or something, they're like, make sure you remove all the seeds because we could die.
Oh, interesting. That's
and I think, why would you put it on there then?
Yeah.
I don't want to be the judge that's eating that potentially
chopped
poison. Yeah.
This story about the durian, which may or may not have really poisonous seeds, occurred in Indonesia. And there is a particular variety of durian, which is also, if you do not know, durian is a really like pungent like fruit. It looks kind of spiky on the outside. It smells really bad, but it is a delicacy across many parts of Asia and just different parts of the world. I know in America, I feel like it's gaining popularity. And this fruit specifically was sold in a store on the island of Java for $1,000 per fruit.
Ooh.
This type of fruit, yeah, it's crazy. This is called the J Queen durian, and it's selected.
What is that? Its rapper name?
Yeah, exactly. That's its stage name. It was selected by a panel of farmers in the region of Central Java because it was deemed to have a special taste and texture. And this news article that I read, they quoted a farmer who grows the fruit. His name is Sudarno. And I guess he said the texture is exquisite on this particular type of durian. And two of the really rare durians, which were displayed in a specific case in a store, it was sold. One was sold in a neighboring province. It sold for 14 million rupiah, which is $1,002 each. And when asked why anyone would pay such a high price, this farmer, Sudaran, said that the harvest from this particular tree had failed in the past seasons, but a new fertilizer helped to produce fruit this year. Sudarno said that the fruit is sweet, fluffy, and delicious, and he described the texture as creamy like butter.
But can I just jump in here that
Yes.
as I was searching for various, as I look stuff up while we're talking, that the smell has been described as turpentine, something else, and raw sewage. That just makes me want to eat it.
Well, durian is really like super pungent. So if you're going to a market to buy it, I would imagine that market.
Well, and it's been banned in some hotels and some public
Yes.
places because of the disgustingness of it.
Yeah, the smell is really strong. But I mean, people eat it because it tastes really good. And you can get it if you're buying it not just in like the fruit, you can get it in like pastries, in candy, just in like other forms, which smell less.
I would think so. Oh, it's cherimoya that's got the nasty poisonous seeds. Not durian.
Oh, not durian.
Just
okay.
stinky.
Yeah, that looks like an interesting fruit.
Yeah.
So durian are often grown in family orchards, also small scale farms, and they're hugely popular in parts of Asia. And as Sarah was saying, they're described as smelling like open sewer, turpentine, and that's specifically when they're ripe. And they're banned in a lot of airports, public transport, and hotels throughout Southeast Asia. I've heard that they're not allowed on subways, which would be a terrible place to trap a smell.
Ugh.
Also,
why are we always talking about smells on subways? We always seem to come back to that.
That's what a good way to end. Really gross subway smells. Oh, I can like almost smell it now.
Yeah.
Like I can almost taste that.
That's not an air freshener I'm going to buy.
No. That would be a really funny air freshener, Durian. Just for people who don't know.
Yeah. April
The
Fools.
unsuspecting public. Apparently, more than 20 durians that were produced by this particular farmer's tree were premature, but 4 were offered for sale. 2 were sold, and then others were pulled from display because their quality faded.
Oh,
Which is unfortunate for this poor farmer.
yeah.
But this particular variety, the J Queen, which is an excellent name, just is superior, apparently.
Apparently.
And there aren't that many because they had a bad harvest, so hence the really enormous price.
Well, yeah. Hopefully that's enough to cover all of his expenses.
Yeah, hopefully. And I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to think that you're going to eat a super smelly fruit.
Yeah, that you paid a lot of money for.
That you paid a lot of money for. Oof. Well, I don't know. The more you know. I guess I'll have to. I've tried durian in like pastries, but I guess I should try the fruit
I guess so.
out when I'm outside.
Yeah.
Not around my
Yeah.
house. And then I'm going to immediately throw it away outside of my house.
The world thanks you.
Yes.
Well, maybe not your neighbors who are near your garbage
They'll
can.
probably
But
hate that. But, you know, I'll be more okay with it. That brings us to the end of our show. Thank you so much for listening, and please tune in to the next Weird News podcast episode.